And yay, there it is. So, yay. Wow. It just seems like we have lived a long time in 1 week. Oh, finally, for the first time, Savannah, if you're watching, I'm not wearing two shirts today because it was when we went to bed last night, it was this morning it was 52 degrees. And most of the snow is gone. There's still about 5 feet of ice right before you get to our mailbox. And but other than that, it's a beautiful day. We've able to go for a walk. And when some of you may have seen and some of you may not have, if you didn't, you need to watch Bill's video about the Bud commercial. There was a line in there that really hit me. And it was something about there is a beauty when broken things find a way to soar again. And that was such a beautiful line that I think all of us can relate to being a broken thing at one point or another for whatever reason. But I think really it pertains a lot, as you said, to our country. And our country right now seems to be broken, but it will soar again. We will be the shining city on a hill again. It's just that we have to go through so much pain to get there. And even though Bill talked about it, and maybe some people are, I don't know, whatever, but I just wanted to share a little bit of my experience with it. We had all this Bad Bunny, Kid Rock, TPUSA versus the Super Bowl this and that, and all this stuff going on. And it was driving me crazy. People were arguing about this or that. And I just really began to pray. And I said, Lord, what? I don't even know what. And he did speak to me and say, watch the Bud Light commercial again. Because I had watched it, but I sort of filed it away. Anyway, as I watched it that time, I clearly heard the Lord say, this is about America. This little chick who fell in the mud should not have survived, but did. The little chick, with an unlikely ally, survived against all odds. The chick grew into an eagle, a mighty bird, and when those wings spanned out, that bird flew off. I heard the Lord say, America will fly again. America will rise again. And then he said, I am the horse, and I am the one carrying America, and I will make her rise again. Because it seems that we are so divided and warring over every little thing. And he said to me, muddy wings cannot fly. Muddy wings cannot fly. When you saw that little chick in the mud, and when you realize in your own life, mud, sin, unforgiveness, all of those things cause us not to be able to fly. But God will bring us out of the miry pit, set our feet on solid ground. He will clean us up, dust us off, and we will rise again. President Trump is going to dedicate this country to God. I believe it's May 17th. And so, in the words of Kid Rock, I say, dust off the book on the shelf, get ready, because we are getting ready to see the biggest revival we have ever seen. And we don't want to miss it because we're arguing about monkey memes and halftime shows. And I just felt like so much of our attention, or at least in social media and other places, has gone to this stupid monkey meme and the halftime show and Kid Rock and this and that. And so I do think that, it's helpful to ground and think about us being that little chick and pray to God that he will make us rise again, not only as a country, but as individuals, because sometimes we all get mud on our wings. So I wanted to start with that because I've watched the video. Bill did a great job on the video. If you haven't, again, explaining about the commercial and how it all came together and about that little chick and it was real, right? It actually, they did that. It was amazing.
Amazing.
It was amazing. And it will be amazing. It's just the pain in getting there. it Right before we did this, he also put up another video that you might want to catch about Iran. I haven't had a chance to see it yet because we came in here. But do you want to give a short blurb about it, or
I don't think I can talk right now.
okay. It's okay. So in any case, I wanted to start with that. There's a story, I guess I should mention this before I go on. The person that they detained in the Nancy Guthrie thing has already been released, and so they're back to square one. And
there's an update on El Paso if you don't know.
Yes, the planes are now allowed to. Explain that. They closed the airspace.
There was a herd of hostile drones coming across from Mexico, and we had to shoot them down. And they didn't want airplanes in the air in the middle of this attack. As simple as that.
All I heard, well, it's open now, so apparently they finished whatever. All I heard was it was a matter of national security. I didn't know what the specifics were, but it was unusual.
Under attack by Mexican drones.
That's a little scary. But we managed to shoot them down, and thank God for that, right? Mm-hmm. How'd they shoot them down? What'd they use?
I think it's classified technology.
Oh. We're not supposed to know. Okay.
I don't know. I've got an idea, but.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't go there. Because we don't want to. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on with, the Epstein files and this and that and the other. And I have to mention this. I'm sorry. I found it, I don't know, humorous. I shouldn't say that. But all these, see, Trump is here. Trump. And what comes out is a police report where President Trump called the police to say, I'm really glad you're looking into Epstein. He's a bad guy. And you might want to look closer at Ghislaine Maxwell because she is an evil woman. And so there's all of these. And I've even seen some lefty people saying, you mean he called the police? You mean this is why he's in there, and that's why Jeffrey Epstein hated him, and that's why Jeffrey Epstein was trying to get back at him and trying to set him up and trap him in different ways, and he was unsuccessful in doing. So
I think it was also last night on Newsmax where someone, and I forget who, but I'll get to it later today, mentioned that Epstein's death was maybe not an accident.
Well, yeah,
maybe not suicide.
Well, we said that for everybody was saying that. We were all saying that this didn't add up, that didn't add up, that who was Baden said that the MEs, the ligature and all of that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, for some reason, and I still don't know why, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel came out with a statement that they've looked at everything and he did kill himself. And
nonsense.
I just don't believe
Absolute nonsense. And I looked into that, did reports on it, and I stand by it.
I know, me too. I agree with you. Plus there were too many. Then at some point somebody came out with a new video. Did you see that when it shows somebody in an orange jumpsuit? You can't really see him. It's a shadowy figure, and I don't know. I hope that the truth.
What, on video camera footage from the prison?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Video cameras that weren't working?
Right.
Well, that's why it was shadowy, because they weren't working.
Right. I mean, I am a little shocked at Dan Bongino and
what's going on there?
That sort of bothers me a little bit, but I guess we have to wait and see. I keep meaning to go back and look at what he said at the time when he was a citizen, but I haven't done that, but I'm pretty sure he was like the rest of us. I don't see any reason why we should believe he committed suicide, but it really bothers me that Dan Bongino.
Impossible.
Yeah, I know. Truth. You're right. Plus, it came out of the Epstein files that Epstein's attorneys and the prosecuting attorneys were meeting. Why would they be meeting if not to discuss some sort of, maybe he was going to talk. And there was something going on because he was
Maybe
already...
he was going to die and they had to figure out how to split the money.
Well,
he was worth $700-800 million, and now that value has diminished by about 600 million. So 600 million of Epstein's fortune has now disappeared after his death.
Have you seen all the pictures that people are posting on social media that they say is Epstein, that he's still alive?
No, I don't care about that. He's dead.
I mean, this happens every time. Every single time somebody dies. Elvis was still alive. John Kennedy Jr., all of these people, they say, I don't pay any attention to that.
People desperate for hits.
Yeah, and, the figure that they show has long hair and a beard, and I don't know, whatever. But there is a story out there that I don't see anybody talking about, and I think it's more important than people think it is. And that is a bridge. The bridge that and I want to read what President Trump has to say about it. But this is: the troubled bilateral relations between the United States and Canada have a new point of contention. Donald Trump has threatened to block the opening of a controversial bridge connecting the two countries. And some people will say, well, why would he not want to connect the two countries, or why would we not want a bridge? Well, I can think of a lot of reasons. And one of them is nobody is paying attention to the northern border, who's coming across it. And if we don't control the border, then we won't control that. And this is what President Trump had to say about it. As everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades. Now things are turning around for the United States, and fast. But imagine, Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. They own, this is key, both the Canada and the United States side. Now that's not good. And of course, built it with virtually no U.S. content. President Barack Hussein Obama stupidly gave them a waiver so they could get around the Buy American Act and not use any American products, including our steel. The Canadian government expects me, as President of the United States, to permit them to just take advantage of America. What does the United States of America get? Absolutely nothing. Ontario won't even put United States spirits, beverages, and other alcoholic products on their shelves. They are absolutely prohibited from doing so. And now, on top of everything else, Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. We'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. The tariffs Canada charges us for our dairy products have for many years been unacceptable, putting our farmers at great financial risk. I will not allow this bridge to open until the United States is fully compensated for everything we have given them. And also importantly, Canada treats the United States with the fairness and respect that we deserve.
Which will never be possible under the current Canadian leftist government.
Yeah, because it's really the current CCP leftist government in Canada, operating in Canada, right? Fairness and respect. We will start negotiations immediately with all that we have given them. We should own perhaps at least half of this asset. The revenue generated because of the United States market will be astronomical. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President.
And
Donald
they also want
J.
to export their cars to us across this bridge. That's
to Michigan. They want to export their cars to Detroit.
Right to Detroit.
right to Detroit.
Bypass Detroit and go right on down the heart of the country.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, there are other things that bother me about this. Well, first of all, how can they own the American side and the Canadian side of this bridge.
Because they paid Obama enough of a bribe to do it.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right. And when he said that he gave them a waiver, that waiver cost a lot of money, I imagine.
Went right into his pocket.
Yep. And probably
do not pass go.
And buy that house in Dubai.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what probably happened. But it also bothers me that if Canada, i.e. China, is controlling this bridge, who's going to come across it? How are we going to control
matter.
it?
As long as we have a Trump-like figure as president, nobody's coming across there that we don't want.
Well, right. But I mean, I think to me that's a concern because that we do have a lot of people coming across both of our borders. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to read our scripture verse. So I'm going to read it.
Go to it.
Yeah, I'm going to read that now. This is very appropriate to remember if you're talking to certain people in our country, I guess. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. 1 Peter 3:11. So, and that's talking about Democrats in my mind and leftists and all these other people who are doing all of these things in our country and all of this argument that's going on. And one of the things that I have seen, and again, I saw today a very thoughtful, heartfelt, beautiful young woman who she says she's 32. To me, she looks 12. You know how that is. And so she is apologizing. She has just recently become Republican from being a Democrat her whole life. And she gives a tearful apology to all MAGA people, to all Trump supporters. She begs people to forgive her. She has deleted most of her posts. She said, I put up a lot of posts and I deleted as many as I can, but I have so many of them, it's hard for me to delete them. But she is very contrite and feeling very bad. And I have seen also an insurgence of Republicans and Trump supporters because of Nicki Minaj. And all of Nicki Minaj's followers are joining her.
Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, she's a rapper, and she is the one who.
What is she wrapped in?
Funny.
Monetary form humor.
In any case, she has come out absolutely. She says she is President Trump's biggest fan. She has given a lot of. She is Republican, I guess now, and MAGA and all of that. But she also is the one who pointed out all of the evils of Hollywood and the music industry and everything else. And she's come under huge fire for it, of course. And she also, all of her fans have now, they jumped on the bandwagon, and so they're asking the MAGA people to follow them, and they're issuing apologies, etc. But it's a very interesting thing to see. Every single time something happens, I guess, a bunch of people, come on board and become, Republicans, and they want to follow Trump people. And one of the things that I have noticed that every single one of them says is that the Democrats were mean to them, called them names, through, all kinds of things, threatened them. And they said, but the MAGA people have just opened their arms and accepted us and loved us and welcomed us into the family. And it's been, some of them have expressed just, they were sort of shocked because of course they heard we were horrible people. We were Nazis and we're racist and we're all of these things. And then they find out we're not. And they're like, well, somebody's been lying to me. And I'm thinking, and one of the things that in that girl's plea, please forgive me, it made me think of how important it is for us to do that, to forgive people, to forgive all of these people who have caused all this pain, because that's what Jesus calls us to do. And I was going to put up, I have it on my Twitter feed, her apology. But it really touched me. It was very beautifully
Hmm.
done, I thought. And I'm seeing a lot of that, and I'm seeing a lot of people come out of the woodwork. I'm also seeing, I kind of wonder if Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene are going to issue an apology to President Trump now that some of the truth has come out in the Epstein files, that they kept saying he was, all this stuff. Will they ever issue an apology? Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, if Democrats can apologize to us, you can apologize to President Trump for all the things you said. But did you see that story about Adam Schiff and that they have come out saying, with the whistleblowers who have said that Adam Schiff gave permission for classified information to be leaked. Now, I have a question for you. Is that an illegal thing?
Of course, that's called treason. That's death by hanging.
Eric Swalwell as well, that they gave permission to whomever the under them, to leak this classified information, and then go out and lie about it. And it's just those. Well, but we shall see what happens. We have all of this information. We have all of this stuff, and I know Pam Bondi is testifying before Congress today. Have you watched any?
Yeah, she's taking a beating.
Is she?
I mean, these people are all just actors trying to bump up their prospects for the upcoming election. That's all they're trying to do. They just want to get on there and say, you're Satan, so they can get their 5-second clip on the evening news. That's it.
Well,
they care nothing about the truth.
No, they don't. And one of the things that bothers me is that members of Congress have an immunity. Like, they can lie on the floor and nothing happens to them. And that troubles me, because they shouldn't be allowed to do that. But did you see the representative? She has been indicted for fraud, and she is asking the Border Patrol head of the Border Patrol if he thinks he's going to go to hell. Did you see that?
Yeah. I didn't know that was one that had been indicted by fraud, but
she's under indictment, and she's asking him.
This is a massive fight to the end over the fate of this country. It's not done yet, but as long as Trump is there, they have no chance. All the more reason why Trump needs to be very careful.
Well, exactly, and all the more reason why we need to be very diligent in our prayers, in all that we do and all that we say. And they need to pass that SAVE Act. And now, did you know that Fetterman has said he might vote for it?
Yeah.
So it has a chance of passing, because at one point they had 49. Fetterman would give them 50. JD would be able to break the tie. So there's that. So
it's so important. I can't foresee a future world for the USA unless that's passed.
We have to, and it makes no sense. And now their argument is that this goes against women. It doesn't go against anybody. Everybody has ID. Everybody can. You have to have ID for everything.
You have to be stupid to be. You have to either be stupid, really stupid, or a real devious liar.
Well, it's just it's Black people are getting insulted because they keep saying that African Americans won't be able to get ID. Well, they're driving cars. As this one woman said, I have a master's degree, but I can't figure out how to get a driver's license. I mean, it's just silly.
Ask your mommy.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. And so any worthy.
Somebody says we are poking too many bears at one time. No, it's not that we're poking too many. It's just that there are too many, and we've got to poke them.
Well, and they're kicking up their heels because they're losing. They're losing and we're winning. The TPUSA, everybody says, well, they didn't have that many people. They pulled a lot of people away from the Super Bowl halftime. literally the numbers, I don't know the exact numbers, but they had said actually half of the people who were watching it turned the channel. So, this is what we were talking about the other night, was the fact that if TPUSA with 2 months of planning was able to pull that many people, they now say 25 million people have was able to pull that many people to watch that instead of the Super Bowl halftime, that with more planning, they'll get more stars, they'll get bigger, they'll get big people.
They're on automatic now. The advertisers next time are not going to forget that.
Right.
They can't just turn their backs as long as they're going to work this again. And so they're going to get a significant share of that. And that's going to put an even further dent in Roger, whatever his name is.
Well, not only will the advertisers jump on board, I think, but also that means some of the networks will carry it. In other words,
right.
The only place I saw that you could watch it on TV other than live streaming was One American News Network. Well, next year I'm expecting Newsmax, Fox, some of the others to carry it. So, but that is also a good sign for America, that many people watched that show. And if you didn't watch it, whatever, I would encourage. I felt like Kid Rock did such a beautiful job with what he did. A lot of people missed what he did. They missed the symbolism of him. But Kid Rock came out with I never followed him, so I don't know, but one of his signature songs, one of his big songs, and he came out doing that, all dressed like Kid Rock was, jumping around and doing that. And then there was this cello and violin playing. It was beautiful. These two people, they were so beautiful. And they talked about this later. They said they felt like they were David playing before Saul to make, calm. So they were sort of the bridge. And then Kid Rock came back out, and he was announced as Robert Ritchie, which is his real name. And so his Robert Ritchie, he sang a beautiful song that was written, and I don't remember who the person wrote it, but he said he had that song in his head all night as sleeping, and he says someone, and I'm guessing it was God, spoke to him and said, there is another verse that you need to add to that song. Get up and write it. And so in the middle of the night, he got up and he wrote that last verse that he sang, and you could see on his face the emotion. But it was like he was showing people his own redemption. He was showing people where he had been and where he is, and who he called himself and who he is now, which is Robert Ritchie. And that song, it's Until You Can't, Till You Can't. That song went to #1 on the charts. It beat Bad Bunny.
Well, the FCC has been urged to investigate the lyrics of that song because they were so profane that they violated all of the protections of the Federal Communications Act. So hopefully they'll go after Roger Goodell, that's his name, the head of the NFL, and he needs to go.
He needs to go, and also they need to go after Bad Bunny. I mean, as some it was a congressman who said this, every single word just about in that song, and a lot of people didn't realize what they were singing or what they were dancing to or whatever. And so I think if they did know what the words were of the lyrics, they would have probably walked out. If it had been in English, I don't think anybody would have stayed. It was horrible. We don't even want to talk about it.
Well, that's a federal licensing. We are the owners of those channels.
Truth. So
they have to come to us for a license to do that stuff, and they can't. We grant them that license only if they behave and don't push porn or whatever on the country, and that's what they did. And so whoever was responsible goes.
And I'm looking forward to something happening with that. I can't remember the FCC chairman's name, but he's being pushed to do something about it. That's just unacceptable. You can't even say, you know, they bleep out curse words and on TV and stuff. You can't use that kind of language. And there it was in the song. And it doesn't matter that it was in Spanish. It was still, it's the same word. I mean, it's, you know, so, well, I think we've, or is there something else that you wanted to talk about?
No, that's 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Right on the nose.
Right on the nose. So, unless there's something else anybody want to comment on.
Somebody just thanked me for making the Money Masters documentary.
Yeah.
Thank you for being there to be an audience for that. And
Yeah.
still 30 years later, you're still mentioning it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and who knows what will happen with this new Fed chair. I don't know, but we'll see. Thank you. God bless President Trump. God bless the United States of America, and God bless all of you. And thank you for watching.